This is a written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created the male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. So yeah, God likes to repeat stuff a lot, which makes it really easy to learn. You know, for people like today who don't know the biological fact of male and female, or what the word day means when it's repeated with the words day and night. Anyway, when Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, named Seth. That's actually his third child, but the other two are no longer relevant. Seth was born. Adam lived another 800 years and had other sons and daughters. That explains where these children were finding their wives. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years and then he died. So we're not talking about Cain and Abel anymore, apparently. Their son, the third son, was born when Adam and Eve were 130. And no. He did not set any records by living to 930, as you'll see down the line. A couple people actually live a little longer than this. One quick note. Many people believe this is referring to a lunar calendar, and that Adam lived to be 71 years old. So yeah, these people that believe the lunar calendar theory for Adam showing 71 years old sounds great, until you look at the fact that he was at least 130 years old when his first child was born. On a lunar calendar, that would make him 10 solar years old, and having 3 children. But the lunar theory gets worse. Seth was 105, he becomes the father of Enosh. So, if you're clinging to the lunar calendar theory, converting that adds up to 8 solar years. Having kids at 8 years old. I know it's happened in the modern world with people as young as 6 in the last few decades, but that is rare. Also, I don't know if I'd trust a 10 or 8-year-old to live their own life and raise children. Definitely not. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived another 807 years and had other sons and daughters, although Seth lived a total of 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. For those loonies who are looking at a 7-year-old having children, and his children being 5 when they become father. It's not the lunar calendar, so let's just drop this and accept that a perfect human genetic within the first few generations was far better and had better telomeres and could live about 10 times longer than we do today. After all, people in the past would be shocked to hear that we live into our hundreds. At a time of writing, a Japanese woman recently passed away at 119. And half a century ago, a woman died at the age of 122 in France. That would be 3 times the average lifespan of just a few hundred years ago. Given that with more genetic disorders popping up all the time, and we are actually just using modern medicine and technology to keep ourselves alive. If you are into any science fiction, there are species of aliens on sci-fi shows that do this. They have terrible genetics, but rely on technology to stay alive. That's actually what we're doing. That's why a lot of fiction actually comes from truth. So just accept it. Young Earth produced people to live quite old. Young, old people. It's real. After he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived around 905 years and then he died. when Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. And he became the father of Mahalalel. Kenan lived 840 more years and became and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Kenan lived 910 years, and then he died. When Mahalalel was 65 years old, he became the father of Jared. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years, and then he died. Jared had lived 162 years, and he became the father of Enoch. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Enoch wrote a very important book that was actually quoted by Jesus and is accepted by many Christians and Jewish people around the world today. Methuselah actually is the oldest person to ever live, as we're about to see. So after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with the Lord, had other sons and daughters, and then walked with God and was no more, because God took him away. He actually did not die. He was caught up to heaven. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. And after he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Although, altogether, Methuselah lived 969 years, and then he died. Fun fact, no human ever made it to 1,000 years. Methuselah actually holds the world record of oldest man to ever live at 969 years old. And he died shortly before a major event's about to take place. But doesn't his name mean pretty much it's over when he dies? If you know a little Hebrew, that'll make a little bit of sense. Now, yeah, that is the record. No human lived older than him. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son and named him Noah. He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands, caused by the ground that the Lord has cursed. After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. These three will accompany Noah in their ark later on in this text. And they will also settle Europe, Asia, and Africa. By the way, I have a great video on getting racism out of our society. TLDR, we all come from the same people, and we're all still one human species. Still a great video. But for now, I'm going to cut this one short because the next few chapters are all Noah and the ark. So for now, go check out the other videos I've mentioned. And that's all I've got.